there seems to be a new psychiatric diagnosis floating around out here that targets internet conspiracy theorists. So, if you are spending too much time on the internet, according to the government, or you are trying to warn people about what's going on around us and what's coming to us and what the governments are doing and all these false flags and everything that's going on, you're going to be targeted and you will be officially classified under a specific mental disorder that they have created just for us. So the Obama administration seemingly has a new partner in crime, and it's called the American Psychiatric Association. They have now come up with this new Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, which was recently adopted. It's highly controversial and has sparked outrage from mental health practitioners. And many of them point out that this new Diagnostic and Statistical Manual makes a pathology out of simple and normal behaviors, such as grieving for the loss of a loved one. Really? This is a bit ridiculous. This constitutes a new subjective approach in diagnosing of mental illness in that it promises to end free speech and any form of political dissent. Now, the federal government's already declared anyone who opposes its unconstitutional policies as having political paranoia, which is now unbelievably diagnosed as a actual type of mental illness. As comical as that may be, the sad part of it is that it's true, and they're using it to target people like me and you and anyone else who opposes their tyranny and their gun confiscation laws and the martial law and everything that goes along with it. Now, particularly disturbing is that the new manual targets internet users and conspiracy theorists. This makes sure that if you're judged by some vague set of criteria to spend too much time on the internet, you could be judged to be mentally ill and ineligible to own a gun. Subsequently, this is just another backdoor method to disarm citizens who would oppose the tyranny being imposed upon America. And under Obama's new proposed gun regulations, anyone who has a diagnosable or is potentially diagnosable, which is pre-crime, for being mentally ill, they can have their guns confiscated. And Vice President Biden even feels that they can violate HIPPA privacy regulations in requiring states to report who has been treated for mental illnesses. Wow. So what's interesting is that the Obama administration isn't even trying to distinguish between mental illnesses in terms of who should and who shouldn't own a gun. In their eyes, all mental illnesses are created equal. And a person with a phobia is just as dangerous as a sociopath. 1 in 6 Americans have a quote-unquote diagnosable anxiety disorder. And this is completely understandable given the economic and political times that we live in. However, under the new proposed guidelines, all of these people would be ineligible to have a gun in their possession, and even though there's not a shred of research which indicates this population would be inclined towards gun violence any more than any other population, this is new Soviet-style political schizophrenia. We will see confinements among the alternative media and the veterans for things like ADHD, grieving, normal anxiety, bad eating habits, etc., etc., etc. It'll never end. All of these behaviors and more have been categorized as pathologies under the Obama administration and a supportive American Psychiatric Association. This new DSM has expanded the definition of ODD, which is oppositional defiant disorder, and this is classified as a highly controversial mental illness used to describe children and teens as mentally ill if they exhibit disobedience and defiance. Are you serious? I don't know a child on this earth, unless they're perfect, and nobody walking this earth is perfect, who has not at one point in their life gone against what their parents say. When I was growing up and we had horses on the farm, we were always told to stay away from the fields because our parents were afraid that we were going to get trampled by the horses. So instead of, if we got in trouble and we got a whooping, say, instead of taking our punishment, we would run down to the fields and we would hide in the trees, or we would get up underneath of one of the horses and just kind of sit there underneath the horses while they were grazing. That is defiant. And we knew that we were in trouble, but we didn't want to get a whooping, or we didn't want to get grounded or stand in the corner or whatever it may be. So, of course, children are, at one point in their life, they're going to go the opposite way that you want them to on whatever subject it may be, whether you're wanting them to go to their room and they don't want to, or you tell them to do their homework and you go to do the dishes or something and you come back and they're playing a game on the internet. That doesn't mean they're mentally ill or they have a mental disorder. It means they're a child and they have a mind of their own and they make decisions with their own little mind. So I just wanted to throw this out here. The Obama administration has officially created new mental disorder criterias for people like me and you who were trying to get the truth out. This has been Ladybug with TruthHurts News 7.